Ancient Egypt is slowly, peacefully falling asleep. The great river, the heart of this land, reflects the stars like a dark mirror, a ribbon of scattered diamonds flowing through the desert. Can you feel it? That profound quiet. It's a silence we almost never experience today. It's a silence that carries the secrets of centuries. Along the riverbanks, small villages are settling down for the night. In the modest homes made of sun-dried mud bricks, families gather. The day's labor in the fields is done. The fishermen have returned, their nets now hanging to dry. You can almost smell the lingering scent of baked bread and lentils from the evening meal. Through an open doorway, you see the soft, flickering light of an oil lamp, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. A mother hums a gentle lullaby to her child, a melody as old as the river itself. There's a sense of completion, of a day well lived, and a peaceful surrender to the night. Out on the water, a few reed boats glide silently, perhaps a late traveler or a guard making his rounds. A single torch on the bow of a boat casts a warm, golden trail on the dark water, a lone firefly in the vast darkness. The gentle splash of an oar is the only sound, a rhythmic, soothing pulse that merges with the quiet hum of the night. On the shore, tall palm trees stand like sentinels, their fronds rustling in the soft breeze, creating a sound like a gentle sigh. Their long, slender shadows stretch and sway, a slow, mesmerizing dance under the moonlight. In the distance, from a grand temple dedicated to the gods of sleep and dreams, you might hear the faint echo of a chant. It's not loud or intrusive, but a low, resonant vibration that seems to rise from the very earth. It's a sound of reverence, of peace, a final prayer as the world gives itself over to slumber. The air is warm, carrying the scent of the river, the dry earth, and the night-blooming lotus flowers that open their petals to the moon. This is a world in harmony, a world where the rhythm of human life is perfectly attuned to the cycles of the sun, the moon, and the great, life-giving river. Think of your own world as it quiets down. The traffic fades, the house settles, that feeling of stillness you might find in the late hours. Now, multiply that stillness by 1,000. Strip away all the artificial noise, the digital glow. What's left is this ancient, organic silence, the silence of the Egyptian night. It's a silence that allows you to hear your own breath, to feel the gentle beat of your own heart. It connects you to something primal, something timeless. You are part of this ancient scene, lying down to rest under the same moon that shone on the pharaohs. Let this feeling of deep, historical peace wash over you. Let the gentle lapping of the Nile's waters soothe your mind. Picture the soft light of the torches, the swaying palms, the vast star-filled sky. Each star is a beacon of tranquility, watching over the sleeping land. The worries and stresses of your day are like footprints in the sand, smoothed away by the gentle night wind. They don't belong here, in this sanctuary of calm. Here, there is only rest, there is only peace. As you close your eyes, you are not just in your room. You are drifting on a boat down the moonlit Nile. The gentle rocking of the vessel lulls you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. The air is soft and balmy against your skin. The distant temple chants have faded into a gentle hum that resonates within you, a frequency of pure calm. Every muscle in your body begins to release, to let go. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, the tension in your forehead melts away. You are safe. You are held by the quiet of the ancient night. The river carries you onward, a slow, steady, and certain journey into the realm of dreams. There are no schedules here, no deadlines, no expectations. There is only the flow, the eternal, gentle flow of the Nile. It has witnessed empires rise and fall, generations come and go, and through it all, it has continued its calm, inexorable journey to the sea. Your own thoughts and concerns are just small ripples on its surface. Let them go. Let the river carry them away. Imagine the deep, dark blue of the night sky above. It's not black, but a rich, velvety blue, filled with more stars than you could ever count. The Milky Way is a luminous cloud, a river in the sky mirroring the one below. You feel a sense of awe, of being a small but significant part of this immense, beautiful universe. This perspective brings a profound sense of peace. Your own life, with all its complexities, finds its place in this grand cosmic tapestry. The sounds of the night are a symphony of sleep, the chirping of a lone cricket, the soft hoot of a distant owl, the rustle of reeds. These are not noises that disturb. They are sounds that confirm the deep stillness all around you. They are the lullaby of the natural world, a song that has been sung every night for millennia. Allow these sounds to guide you further down into a state of deep, restorative sleep. Your body feels heavy now, in the most pleasant way. It's the feeling of complete surrender to gravity, to the comfort of your bed. It's as if you are sinking into soft, warm sand, supported and secure. Your breath is slow and steady, a quiet rhythm that matches the gentle pulse of the universe. Inhale peace, exhale tension, inhale calm, exhale worry. With each breath, you drift further and further away from the waking world. The moonlight filters through the palm fronds, creating shifting patterns on the ground, like a natural kaleidoscope of light and shadow. It's a gentle light show designed just for you, a final, beautiful image to carry with you into your dreams. The world is asleep, and you are joining it. You are part of this great collective rest. Let the ancient magic of the Egyptian night cradle you. Let the spirit of the Nile guide you to a place of profound tranquility and deep, healing sleep. There is nothing left to do now but rest. Just rest. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the western sky in fiery strokes of orange and purple before surrendering to the deep indigo of night. Along the banks of the Nile, a gentle quiet descends upon the villages. The day's work is done, the fields are resting, and families are returning to the cool embrace of their homes. Imagine the feel of the packed earth beneath your feet as you step into a courtyard. The air, once shimmering with the day's heat, now carries a soft, refreshing breeze that whispers through the date palms. The walls of the house, built from sun-dried mud bricks, still hold a faint warmth from the afternoon sun, a comforting presence against the cooling night. A single clay lamp, its wick floating in fragrant oil, casts a soft, flickering light that dances across the plastered walls. It's not a bright light, but a gentle one, enough to see the familiar faces of your loved ones, their features softened in the amber glow. From the heart of the home, the kitchen, comes the most wonderful smell imaginable, the aroma of freshly baked bread. Earlier, dough was kneaded and shaped into flat, round loaves. Now, they bake in a small clay oven, filling the house with a scent that speaks of nourishment, of family, of life itself. It's a smell that promises a simple, satisfying meal to end the day. The rhythmic sound of a stone grinding grain has ceased, replaced by the quiet hum of evening life. In a corner, on a woven mat, the children are already asleep. Their small chests rise and fall in a steady, peaceful rhythm. Their dreams are untroubled, safe within the thick, protective walls of their home. A gentle curl of smoke, carrying the sweet, spicy scent of kefi incense, drifts from a small burner. This sacred fragrance, a blend of juniper, myrrh, and honey, purifies the air and calms the mind, a nightly ritual to invite peace and ward off uneasy spirits. From a neighbor's house, you might hear the faint notes of a harp or the soft murmur of a story being told. It's a symphony of quiet sounds, a tapestry of peaceful moments woven together. This is the end of an Egyptian day. It's not an ending of grand pronouncements, but a slow, gentle settling. A deep, collective breath taken by a village as it prepares for the rest that the night provides. Life in ancient Egypt was deeply connected to cycles, the rising and setting of the sun, the annual flooding of the Nile, the phases of the moon. This rhythm wasn't just an external clock. It was an internal one, shaping the daily lives of everyone from the farmer to the pharaoh. The evening was a sacred time, a transition from the world of labor and light to the world of rest and dreams. The homes themselves were designed for this transition. Thick walls kept the interior cool during the scorching day and held a gentle warmth through the night. Windows were small and high up, not for the view, but to catch the breeze, while maintaining privacy and keeping out the dust and glare. Many houses had flat roofs, which became an extra room once the sun went down. Families would bring their mats and cushions up to the rooftop to sleep under the stars, cooled by the night air and safe from scorpions or snakes that might seek warmth on the ground floor. Imagine lying there, a canopy of 1,000,000 stars above you, the Milky Way, a shimmering river mirroring the Nile below. The silence would be profound, punctuated only by the chirping of crickets or the distant call of a night bird. The evening meal was the cornerstone of this peaceful time. It was a communal affair, a moment to reconnect after a day spent apart. The food was simple but wholesome. The warm flatbreads, fresh from the oven, would be torn and used to scoop up lentil stew, cooked with garlic and onions. There might be some salted fish, a handful of dates or figs for sweetness, and perhaps some cheese, and to drink a cool, refreshing beer. Not the strong alcoholic beverage we know today, but a thick, nutritious brew made from barley or emmer wheat, a staple of the Egyptian diet for all ages. Sharing this meal was a ritual that reinforced the bonds of family and community. After the meal, the day wasn't quite over. This was a time for storytelling. Elders would recount tales of the gods and goddesses, of Isis and Osiris, of Horus and Set. They would share legends of the creation of the world and stories of great pharaohs from ages past. These weren't just entertainment. They were lessons in morality, history, and theology, passed down through generations. Children would listen, wide-eyed, their imaginations fired by these epic tales. For a civilization without widespread literacy, oral tradition was the library, the school, and the temple, all rolled into one. The spoken word held immense power, and the quiet of the evening was the perfect vessel for it. For the adults, the evening also offered a time for personal crafts and preparations for the next day. A woman might sit by the lamplight, spinning flax fibers into thread for the loom, her hands moving with a skill passed down from her mother and grandmother. A man might sharpen his tools, a bronze hoe or a wooden sickle, ensuring they were ready for the morning's work in the fields. These quiet, repetitive tasks were meditative, a way to wind down the mind while the hands were still busy. The spiritual dimension of the evening was ever present. The ancient Egyptians believed the night was a time of renewal, but also of potential danger. The journey of the sun god Ra through the underworld was fraught with peril, battling the serpent Apep each night to ensure he could rise again at dawn. Small household rituals reflected this belief. Amulets were checked, prayers were said to protective deities like Base, the dwarf god who watched over children and mothers, and Toret, the hippopotamus goddess of childbirth and fertility. The incense wasn't just for a pleasant smell, it was an offering, a way to create a sacred and protected space within the home. Consider the sounds. The day was filled with the noise of labor, the shouts of foremen, the creak of water-lifting shadoofs, the chatter of the marketplace. But the night belonged to nature and to the home. The gentle lapping of the Nile against the banks, the rustle of papyrus reeds in the breeze, the distant bark of a dog. Inside the home, the soft crackle of the fire in the hearth, the whisper of conversation, the lullaby sung to a restless child. These sounds were the soundtrack of peace, a reassurance that all was well. As the night deepened and the moon climbed higher, the village would fall into a profound slumber. The courtyards, once filled with the energy of returning family members, would now be still, bathed in silver light. The lamps would be extinguished one by one, leaving only the stars to watch over the sleeping world. This was a deep, trusting sleep, born of hard work and a fundamental belief in the order of the universe, in the certainty that the sun would triumph in its nightly battle and return to warm the land once more. This daily cycle of activity and rest, of light and dark, was the heartbeat of ancient Egyptian life. The evening was the gentle exhale, the moment the world paused to restore itself. It was a time defined not by grand events, but by the simple, profound beauty of family, food, and peace, all unfolding under the watchful eyes of the moon and stars, beside the eternal, life-giving river. Thank you for joining me on this journey back in time. I hope you found a moment of peace in this glimpse of an ancient Egyptian evening. If you enjoyed this story, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more immersive tales from the past. Sweet dreams. When the sun disappears, the world doesn't simply go dark. It transforms. Familiar landscapes warp into mysterious new territories, and the bustling cities of the living quiet down, becoming realms of shadow and whispers. For the ancient Egyptians, this daily transition was profound. The sun god Ra would begin his perilous journey through the underworld, and the land he left behind would change under the silver light of the moon. Imagine standing on the banks of the Nile as the last sliver of orange sunlight vanishes behind the western desert. The air grows cool, the frantic energy of the day dissipates, replaced by a deep, resonant calm. Let's walk together through the streets of ancient Thebes, the city of 100 gates, long after the sun has set. By day, this was the heart of an empire, a sprawling metropolis of temples, palaces, and crowded marketplaces. But at night, it's a different world. The grand avenues, once teeming with chariots, priests, and laborers, are now vast and empty. The only sounds are the soft scuff of our own sandals on the stone-paved roads and the distant barking of a dog. Look there, along the temple walls. A patrol of guards makes its rounds, their footsteps echoing in the silence. The flickering light from their torches casts long, dancing shadows that seem to bring the carved reliefs to life. Gods and pharaohs march in a silent, eternal procession along the stone. The merchants in the market district have long since shuttered their stalls. The vibrant colors of spices, fabrics, and pottery are now hidden behind heavy wooden doors, bolted for the night. The scent of baked bread and roasting meat has faded, replaced by the cool, earthy smell of the Nile and the sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine drifting from a hidden garden. We pass by the modest mud-brick homes of the common people. Through a small, unglazed window, we might see the soft glow of a single oil lamp, where a family gathers for their evening meal, their low voices a comforting murmur in the vast quiet of the city. There's a sense of intimacy and peace here, a stark contrast to the monumental grandeur of the temples. Now, let's journey north, down the river, to Memphis, the ancient capital of the Old Kingdom. Even in its later years, Memphis remained a vital administrative and religious center. At night, its character is one of solemnity and ancient power. The great temple of Ptah, the creator god, looms like a mountain of stone against the starry sky. Here, the silence is even deeper, more profound. It feels sacred. The colossal statues of pharaohs that guard the temple pylons are no longer just stone carvings. In the moonlight, they seem to be watching, breathing, their gaze fixed on eternity. You can almost feel the weight of centuries pressing down, the accumulated prayers and rituals of generations soaking into the very stones. The air is still, holding the memory of incense and chanted hymns. Within the temple's outer courts, the sacred lake is a perfect mirror of polished obsidian, reflecting the stars with perfect clarity. The priests believed these celestial bodies were the souls of the departed, sailing across the heavens. Looking into that water is like gazing into the cosmos itself. The night was not a time of fear for the Egyptians, but one of mystery and divinity. It was the time when the barrier between the world of the living and the world of the gods grew thin. They knew that while their mortal city slept, another, more ethereal life was unfolding. The gods were awake, the stars were journeying, and the pharaoh, their divine intermediary, rested to gather strength for the coming dawn. This nightly transformation from a city of people to a city of spirits and shadows was a fundamental rhythm of their existence. As we move away from the grand temples and into the residential quarters of Memphis, the atmosphere shifts again. Here, life is more grounded. The houses are packed more closely together than in Thebes. We can hear the soft rustle of palm leaves in the gentle night breeze. Perhaps we hear a mother singing a lullaby to her child, a simple, timeless melody that floats through the narrow alleys. The night watchman calls out the hour, his voice a reassuring presence in the darkness, a reminder that the community is protected, that order prevails, even when the sun is gone. These cities weren't just collections of buildings. They were living organisms that breathed in and out with the cycle of day and night. The Egyptians had a complex relationship with darkness. It was the realm of Apophis, the great serpent of chaos who threatened Ra's journey. But it was also the domain of Nut, the sky goddess, whose star-spangled body arched protectively over the earth. Night was a time for dreams, which were considered messages from the gods. It was a time for reflection, for storytelling, for the quiet reinforcement of family and community bonds. In the elite villas, a poet might be reciting verses to the accompaniment of a harp, the gentle music drifting out into a private, walled garden where fountains splash softly. The night was an essential counterpoint to the day, a necessary quiet that allowed the world to reset and prepare for the sun's triumphant return. Let's imagine ourselves now in a workers' village, like Deir el-Medina, home to the artisans who built the tombs in the Valley of the Kings. These were the men who spent their days carving and painting the afterlife for their pharaohs. By night, their village is a tight-knit community nestled in the Theban hills. The day's hard labor is done. Men sit outside their simple homes, repairing tools or sharing a jug of beer with a neighbor. Their conversations are not of gods and empires, but of work quotas, family news, and local gossip. The air is filled with the smell of cooking fires and the sound of laughter. Here, the night is not about monumental silence, but about human connection. These people lived their lives in the shadow of eternity, yet their nights were filled with the simple, relatable patterns of everyday existence. The darkness also held a practical significance. The cool night air provided a welcome relief from the scorching Egyptian sun. It was a time when certain tasks could be performed more comfortably. Farmers might work by the light of the moon to irrigate their fields. The rhythmic creak of the shadoofa water-lifting device echoing across the valley. Fishermen on the Nile might cast their nets in the cool, quiet hours before dawn, when the fish were more active. The river, the lifeblood of Egypt, takes on a mystical quality at night. The papyrus reeds along the bank whisper secrets in the wind, and the reflection of the moon on the water's surface creates a shimmering pathway of silver leading from this world into the next. This nightly journey through ancient Egypt reveals a civilization deeply attuned to the rhythms of the natural world. Their entire cosmology was built around the cycle of sunrise and sunset, of life, death, and rebirth. The disappearance of the sun was not an ending, but a transition. It was a time when the physical world became a stage for the spiritual and the divine. The great stone cities, which by day were centers of human industry and power, became silent witnesses to the cosmic drama unfolding in the heavens and the underworld. The darkness was not empty. It was filled with presence, with memory, and with the potent magic of a world holding its breath, waiting for the dawn. As we end our journey, picture the first hint of light on the eastern horizon. A pale gray, then a soft pink, begins to push back the darkness. The stars fade, one by one. A rooster crows. The city begins to stir. The guards finish their final patrol. The bakers light their ovens, and the priests prepare for the morning rituals to welcome the return of Ra. The world of shadows recedes, and the familiar, vibrant life of the day returns. But the memory of the night remains the quiet majesty, the deep peace, and the sense of connection to something ancient and eternal. The cities of the Nile have awakened, ready to live another day under the golden eye of the sun. Thank you for walking through the darkness with me. If you enjoyed this journey, please like, subscribe, and join us again as we explore more hidden corners of the past.